Kevin Durant has officially been traded to the Rockets. I cannot believe this right now. The internet is going absolutely wild, so we're hopping on here doing an emergency Rockets trade video. Here we go. So obviously everyone knows the trade by now. Kevin Durant to the Rockets, and in return the Phoenix Suns were able to get Dillon Brooks, Jalen Green, the 10th overall pick in this draft, and 5 second-round picks. While many people are going to be saying they didn't get much because how can you not get more than what the Magic or than what the Grizzlies got for Desmond Bane? Well, let me break it down for you very simply. Kevin Durant is a 37-year-old aging superstar who is on 1 year left of his deal, and he's making $50+ million. It is a much different situation than Desmond Bane, who is younger, is more capable or more fitting for the Magic roster. Kevin Durant doesn't fit perfectly into every roster. Teams have to debate whether or not they want him as the alpha player, as the star player, and you have to take the risk of, is he only going to be there for 1 year? Will he sign an extension? That's why teams like the Rockets and Spurs and the Heat are really the only true contenders, because those are the only teams we knew KD would sign an extension with. Now, the thing that's interesting is that the Heat seem to be in the deal till the very end, but they would not give up any of Nikola Jovic, Haywood Highsmith, their first-round pick in this draft, or there's one more player in there that I'm missing that they wouldn't offer, but I didn't see Khalil Ware on that trade sheet. So they must have offered Ware and Wiggins, and probably that's it, and they thought that'd be enough for Kevin Durant, but obviously it's not. Overall, I like the trade for the Suns. Look, Jalen Green is a young, promising, athletic guard. We say it every year. He has such high peaks, but he has such low lows. We'll see how he does in Phoenix with Devin Booker. It would be great if the Suns could move off of Bradley Beal and land some sort of center, but I don't see that happening. I do think the acquisition of 5 second-round picks makes getting rid of Bradley Beal a lot easier. You could attach 3 or 4 of those picks with Bradley Beal to another team, and I'm sure a team would take his contract. However, Bradley Beal has to accept the trade. So the only team I can see doing this is the Miami Heat. Now, would the Miami Heat give the Suns I don't know, Jovic or one younger player like Haywood Highsmith in return for Bradley Beal and all of those picks? That's the question here that I'm waiting to see get answered, because the Suns are not going to be done. They need a center very desperately. Now they got the 10th overall pick. They could get that center out of Duke that's 7'2". I know the Bulls would be interested in getting him, but I think that they jumped the Bulls now with the 10th overall pick. This was an awesome trade. It's a great day. I love basketball. Trades in the NBA is what makes it exciting. And for the Rockets, man, let's talk about the Rockets. This jumped their odds from 18-1 to plus 850, which means they are a much more heavy favorite to win the finals than they were pre-Kevin Durant trade. The starting lineup could look like Fred VanVleet. Then you've got Thompson. Then you got KD, Jabari Smith, and Sengun. That's a very fun lineup right there. Now, it all depends. I'm pretty sure Fred VanVleet has a player option. Maybe it's a team option, so we'll see if the sides can agree on some sort of long-term deal. But if they can, that roster is insane. They're going to miss Dillon Brooks' grit, you know, his competitive spirit, but KD will bring competitive spirit, and you'll get rid of Dillon Brooks 10 out of 10 times if you can land Kevin Durant. While I think the Suns probably could have gotten more from other teams, like the Timberwolves trade, where they were offering Rudy Gobert, Dante DiVincenzo, Rob Dillingham, Terrence Shannon Jr., and a first-round pick. Obviously, that's the trade that you want to go with, but maybe that trade wasn't actually real, or that wasn't a set-in-stone trade, or the Suns were trying to do right by Kevin Durant, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think they had any loyalties to Kevin Durant. He didn't win anything for them. He didn't do anything for them quite spectacular. However, this trade is blowing up the internet right now. I think that it's a fantastic trade for both sides. The Suns are able to get younger. They got a young guard. Green and Booker could be a lethal duo over the next 5 years. Only time will tell there. The 10th overall pick could end up being very valuable, and Dillon Brooks is a solid veteran. So, you know, the roster could be coming into its own depending on what other moves the Suns are able to make. If they can get off of the Bradley Beal deal, they can really breathe a breath of fresh air and know that their rebuild is officially starting, because it can't until Bradley Beal is gone. That is the biggest piece of this. It would have been nice if they were able to attach him to this deal somehow. They might have to throw in Beal and a player, maybe Beal and Green on the move for some sort of pick. I also, again, would not be surprised if instead of getting rid of Beal, they moved off of Green as well to try to flip him for a center. The Suns desperately need a center. I think that they could look to the Blazers and potentially get a DeAndre Ayton back to the team, or a Rob Williams, or go get Kristaps Porzingis from the Celtics. I guarantee the Celtics would take Jalen Green for Kristaps Porzingis, so be on the lookout for the Rockets to trade Jalen Green for a center, like Kristaps Porzingis to the Celtics, or get DeAndre Ayton back from the Blazers. From the Blazers' point of view, it wouldn't make sense for them to get Jalen Green. He's literally the same player as Shaedon Sharpe and their other young guard that I can't think of, not named Anthony Simons. But be on the lookout for that. With that being said, this trade is huge. The Rockets, in my opinion, do move up as finals contenders. They're right in that bubble there in terms of the West. Who can they not compete with? I think they can compete with the Thunder very well now, because who on the Thunder can really guard Kevin Durant? The Thunder's defense is amazing, but I think their strongest point is when the other team's best player is a guard. They can handle guarding a guard more than they can handle guarding a power forward or a big. Obviously, they handled Jokic well because Alex Caruso, for some reason, was just a demon on defense, but the Thunder definitely are better when the opposing team's best player is a guard, and the Rockets' best player now is a power forward and a center. So when you have two of them, it's going to be a very tough challenge for a team like the Thunder to beat. The Nuggets will 100% struggle with the Rockets now as well. They were already a team that they battled with, but then you get rid of two players that didn't really perform well against the Nuggets, and you add in Kevin Durant to that team with Alperen Sengun. They're going to be very, very tough to play, but I think the Rockets are just going to be one of the most fun teams to watch next year. I think they're going to be a heavily anticipated team. We're going to see them a lot more on television next year, so this is a great move from the Rockets, from the Rockets ownership group. Their jersey sales are going to be crazy. For the Rockets, this is awesome. For Suns fans, I don't know how you all feel. I think that it's fine. You had to get rid of him, obviously. It was time to go. Obviously, you want more because of things like the Desmond Bane trade, but you have to put it into perspective of his age, his contract, his willingness to extend with multiple teams. He basically picked what team he went to. I know he doesn't have a no trade clause, but many of these superstars act as if they do, because he will just not go to, like Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant, like these guys have proven that they just won't. They'll only go to certain teams that they want to go to, even if they don't have a no trade clause, like Bradley Beal does, who actually does get to exercise this right of choosing what team he'd get to go to if traded. And I'm pretty sure we've only seen that he would go to the Heat. Maybe he'll be more open-minded. I don't know why he's so fixated on playing for a team that does not want him. I bet the Wizards would take him back for Jordan Poole. Like, there's teams that I'm sure would take Bradley Beal. Now, this is not a Bradley Beal video. I'm not trying to slander Bradley Beal. I've spent probably 3 or 4 minutes talking about Bradley Beal overall, but he is a massive piece to this Kevin Durant trade in terms of the Suns being good in the future. Do I think the Suns are going to be great next year? No. All they have is Devin Booker now. They don't have KD anymore. They don't have Chris Paul. They don't have DeAndre Ayton. They don't have Mikal Bridges. They basically blew up the roster from when they were in the finals, which is absolutely crazy. However, this trade overall, I'd say was good for both sides. If you think that the Rockets got fleeced, you're wrong. If you think the Suns got fleeced, you're wrong. It benefits both teams, both in the future and now. The Rockets gave up things that they didn't really see as long-term assets, maybe aside from the 10th overall pick, and the Suns got rid of an aging superstar that was not winning with Devin Booker. So they're going all in with Devin Booker, and hopefully we'll see the Suns contend soon again. But in the West, it's going to be a long process, and we would not be surprised to see Jalen Green or Bradley Beal on the move this offseason. But if the Suns can't figure it out in a year or two, would we be surprised to see Devin Booker request a trade if the Suns cannot start contending again in the West? And with that being said, they need to start making moves now in preparation to make sure Devin Booker does not want to leave. Because if Devin Booker leaves, you are absolutely cooked. The Suns franchise would be set back for decades if they didn't have Devin Booker. They need a superstar. It's like the Suns or the Bucks getting rid of Giannis. Obviously not to the same level. If the Bucks got rid of Giannis, their franchise might as well just move, which Giannis is not getting moved. But the Suns need to go all in, get themselves a center. I'm not sure what they are going to do, but I'm excited to see what they end up doing. We're all excited to see the Rockets. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the trade. Do you think that it was a good trade? Do you think that it was fair for both sides? Who won the trade? Did both teams win? Did neither team win? Did the Rockets? Did the Suns? Who knows? Only time will tell. I think that it was a win for both teams, but obviously if the Rockets win a championship, they won the deal. They won the deal. But if the Suns end up being good in the future and Jalen Green grows into the superstar we all know he can be, the Suns may very well have won the trade. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, comment down below what you want to see next, and until next time, y'all, peace out.